It's Sunday. The submersible has been acting strange lately. Um, so I went into diagnose, diagnosing the failure mode. So what tend to happen is the submersible runs dry. It's running, but it's not allowing water to come out. So I wondered why. Also, the tank seems to be full of air, and I'm trying to understand why it would be full of air. And so yesterday it was making a weird sound, sucking sound. And so that leads me to conclude that when the submersible stop and there's water inside the metal tube, that's a 2 inch. So that's 18 to 20 meter down. So the water column in these inside the metal tube acts like a piston. So there's a leak down there. So as the water level drops down to the bottom, whatever the water level is, it begins to suck air. And so that then forces air into the metal tube. And it creates air pocket within the submersible itself. And so now the submersible is running dry, and it's just on and on and on. I know there's lots of water down there, but it's not allowing the water to come out. The air pocket is actually creating, is pushing water out of the submersible. It doesn't allow the water to get inside the pump, the impeller. So for the past few days it's been running dry and it's overheating. And I don't know how bad the submersible is impacted. I suspected that's what happened to the other submersible. But that one there, it doesn't have a check valve. However, I suspect the same thing happens. There's air pocket inside the tubes. And so I'm going to demonstrate what I mean by this. So I'm gonna turn the water so that the water from the tank doesn't come out. And I'm going to vent the water coming out of the submersible. So as you can see, there's air pressure. Now, see, this is exactly what's creating this thing. So the submersible is now running. And so I'm gonna allow the water to get in again, and allow the air to vent out a little bit. So these things are trapped air from the tank. Now it's fully vented, and so I'm going to now turn this off so water will be redirected into the tank. So now I have to do this daily. So now the water is inside the tank. So this is another project that I have to deal with. I call it project because it is. It's another thing I have to deal with. Because what tends to happen is there's too much air going inside the house, and it just creates it creates a lot of hassle. The other thing too is energy consumption. Uh, so I'm beginning to understand certain events happening here. The old submersible failed because the uh, the air pocket inside the submersible is happening, and this one will most likely fail if I don't have a mitigation plan. I'm also imagining also probably the jet pump was like this, having the same phenomenon. Air is somehow being trapped inside the pipe, and it's not venting, and it just not wanting for the water to get inside the impeller, whether it's the disc type impeller or the other well, forgot already what the other one was. uh, and then of course the jet pump. So I just want to show everyone what to watch out for. Uh, that something is running, the jet pump, submerged, it's running, but you know there's water underground, but it's not filling up the tank, and you can see air somehow. There seems to be air in the system. What I've shown here is that's the fault mode, and so the next few days, well, I don't know. It's not gonna be the next few days because since I'm going to allow a computer to manage this, it will be like, I don't know, several weeks project probably. So uh, we'll see how that project moves along. It's going to use a microcontroller. So I did a little bit of search on the symptoms that I have been observing lately. Uh, there isn't one that really match my the symptoms. So the what I did though is to investigate the check valve. The the check valve is not closing correctly or properly, and I took it apart and I found a foreign plastic material stuck in the check valve. It's too big to be. It's not stone or sand or anything like that. It's a plastic piece. It tells me that the impeller down in the submersible is has been damaged due to running dry. Uh, so unfortunately, I will have to bring the submersible again and investigate the impeller. Uh, this really is challenging. The water quality here, there's too much rust, and it just rusts everything. Uh, Coats the PVC, rust everywhere. The check valve is rusted. The spring is coated with rust, and it no longer functions properly. So the check valve is not working properly. And when the PVC pipe and the water tank are under pressure, uh, and when it fills the tank, I have to open the valve uh, to neutralize the air entrainment. Um, so basically, I have now become the manual system for this because I don't want to fill the tank with air. and I don't want the submersible to run dry. So dry run until I have a system in place. I'm basically monitoring the system to make sure there's no additional failure to the submersible. Today I'm going to Roxas to buy a replacement for the check valve. So there's something. It's challenging. It really is. Uh, I have to find a better way to do this. Me doing it manually. I thought about computerizing the system. That takes several weeks as I attain the different or procure the different components that allow me to automate the system. Uh, it's just another work. Yeah, if I don't do anything, the submersible is really an expensive part of this system. The submersible there is 20,000 pesos, so it's not something that you just simply say, well, it'll get damaged, it'll get damaged. It's 20,000 damage, so an additional cost fixing it. So, like, you have to, I have to protect the investment. Uh, so the first submersible, I suspected it dry run also, not understanding the failure mode. And most likely the jet pump also did dry run. I did notice that, but I failed to attribute air entrainment into this. So uh, it's really is quite an investigation to fully understand the failure mode. So in short, when the system is pressurized and you have this water column in the pipe, so when the water column is lowering by due to gravity, it becomes a piston, a sucking motion happens, and it now there's a vacuum. It suck air, and this air pocket that it suck actually goes down to the impeller of the submersible. And so when it's time for the pump to start, that air pocket, it just prevents water to go into the impeller, and now the submersible is running dry. Although there's water around it, the air pressure is preventing the water to ingress into the pump, and so it dry run, and the tank doesn't fill up. Eventually, if you don't notice this failure, the submersible will stop, burn itself, and now one of your project is to bring it up and fix it. So if ever you have this kind of experience, you have air in the tank, you have to start investigating the reasons why. And I can only ascribe the reasons why to us to this video. So good luck. So I have to take the check valve out again. It's acting up, and this time I notice a lot of several foreign material pieces. So I'm just gonna take them out. So these three plastic pieces came off the check valve. Uh, uh, these are not natural occurring materials being sucked in by the submersible. So that implies that the impeller or disc is now coming apart inside the submersible. It's damaged because of dry run, running dry, no water, because of air pockets. So there are multiple reasons. I'm sure when I take the submersible apart, I'll find out how bad is the disc damage is going to be, and how much it'll cost me. So I'll do it after harvest or before then, depends whether it fails before the harvest, and after the harvest I'll have it replaced. So I went to handyman to buy a replacement for the check valve. I feel that this is better due to the alignment. This one, when the first time I bought it, I was testing it out, and it has a particular feel, rough feel, almost inside the check valve. It's not polished. It feels unfinished. This one is, you can see it feels finished, polished. This one, even new, it just feels strange. So when you're buying these, feel it, do a touchy-feely, and if you don't like it, ask for another one. This one, I'll tell you later, but I feel that this is well made, polished. This one, even when it was new, it already felt unpolished, unfinished. So, well, it says Meco USA. Not sure about that. That's probably a clone made in China. Unless I'm biased about the state. I could be. But it doesn't feel American made. Let's see here. I don't know if it's American made, but you know, it feels better. So I installed the new check valve. There's a marked improvement. Previously, the water from the tank is feeding back into the submer. So there's a loop where it fills the tank, and then because of the check valve being badly eroded by rust, it will create a suction, and that suction is the one that's creating the air entrainment or pocket of air. So there's two failure modes: check valves, air entrainment, and then of course submersible running dry. And so now there's a problem with the submer. Parts of it is coming off. So after the harvest, hopefully it will last that long. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Just have to deal with it when the time comes when it doesn't work anymore. So it's fun a minute here in the Philippines. It's I think living in North America, all of these kind of challenges are taken care of by someone else. But here you gotta take care of everything yourself. Just because you gotta, nobody's gonna do it for you. You can pay somebody to take care of it. You can pay somebody to take care of things for you, but at what point do you have to take over? So yeah, fun a minute.